الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Alhamdulillah, by the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by His fazl, we sit here for His sake and for His pleasure and really truly understand what it means, and we should try to understand what it means that when we say we do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure, it's not for any other motives. As if you do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and solely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you take pleasure in the act of doing any obedience, if you take pleasure from that and you find a lazat in that, taste in that, this sometimes can be a contamination. Real solely doing something for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is when whether a person feels like or doesn't feel like, taste or doesn't taste, it doesn't matter. He still does it or she still does it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, irrespective. And for you to understand, it's just one of the masters, one of the mashayikhs have said is that a person who enjoys studying, they're seeking knowledge, they enjoy studying. So that person who enjoys studying, he can or she can stay up all night, it's not a problem, it's not an issue. And it's rewarding to study the deen. Very rewardable. But because they enjoy doing that anyway, really there can be a bit of contamination there. Whereas if you were to ask that person, rather than doing your whole night study, just do 2 rakat of nafil, they find that difficult and burdensome. That's how you know wherever, if your nafs has any appetite or pleasure in anything, sometimes it can be as indicator of the fact. For example, many brothers and sisters, they'll say, we don't like, we enjoy doing zikr, but we don't like to do muraqabah. Feel like doing zikr, but muraqabah is very difficult. And vice versa, some brothers and sisters will say, we like, we can do so many muraqabah, these essentials brilliant, but when it comes to dhikr, it's fine difficult. Some brothers and sisters, they may say that everything is fine, but when it comes to ticking the sheet, it's difficult. It's very hard. It's difficult, but we can do the dhikr, it's not a problem. But it's the ticking the sheet that's a bit of a difficulty for us. It's quite difficult. We find it difficult. Here is that really this finding, we find it, I find it, is hard, I don't feel like it, don't feel like it. It's all sign that the nafs is taking some sort of preference here. That we are actually making sure that the nafs gets what it wants. That the nafs actually gets what it wants, and the nafs actually is fed more and more. And like the master has said, is that if you give whatever the nafs wants, if you keep on giving what the nafs wants, all you're doing, the similitude to this is that whatever the nafs desires and whatever it seeks, it's like somebody whose house is a snake and you're fattening the snake every day. You're making that snake grow. You're fattening it. So for example, it's a bit cold today, I just stay home. I won't go for Jamaat. So the deen is Allah SWT likes to make it easy for you. So yes, it's very cold, it's very hard. Now for me to go for Jamaat, it's very difficult. I'll stay home. I'll do the namaz at home. Fine, fair enough. Okay, there's a shari'i reason there. Which if your mosque is just around the corner, it's really not a valid one compared to what the companions had to do. Some companions who were even blind, when the Prophet ﷺ asked that, can you still hear the adhan? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I can hear the adhan. Yes, I can still hear it. He's taking 15 minutes to walk and he's blind. So he ﷺ ordered the companions to establish some sort of a rope So he can follow the whole, even the days when it's a bit rainy and it's difficult for him to cross and it's difficult for nobody else to help him, then he can follow the route and gather himself to the mosque. He had a valid reason that I can't see Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, please permit me. But he's still encouraging. In other words, is that the nafs is so clever in trying to convince us that it is us and not it. That it is me who's actually feeling and not it. That it tries to sugarcoat everything and makes you feel as though, yes, this is what I really want, it's not. And that is a deception that the nafs likes to give. Is that for some reason is that whatever you're inclined towards, it makes you feel as though, oh, this is me, I want to know. You are the spirit. If Allah SWT wanted, if He didn't create the nafs and it was just us, my spirit and your spirit, then believe me that there will be no disobedience. Because the spirit only wants to worship Allah SWT. It only wants to obey. And if it was just the nafs and no spirit, it wouldn't even obeyed one iota whatsoever. Because that's the nature of the nafs. So we are in between where there is spirit and there is a nafs. And what happens is that that's the test, that's the battle. Is that there's a spirit who wants to obey and be in obedience, and there's a nafs who really, his nature is really to be disobedience as such, mean that it doesn't really want, it just inclines, it likes to desire. Coupled with that, Allah SWT has given a mouthpiece, you could say another appetizer, a door and an avenue in which the nafs is enticed, and that's called shaitan. That's the shaitan. And what happens is shaitan likes to stir things with the nafs. So now Allah SWT is saying is that whenever the temptation, shaitan likes to tempt the nafs, you have to fight. So sometimes is that the nafs will say, oh, dhikr is very difficult, muraqabah easy. Do it. Because if you do whatever the nafs wants you to do, then what will happen is that it's like the Mashaykh said, is that understand, is that it's like if you keep on giving in to what the nafs wants, what the nafs desires, it's like keeping a snake in the house, and that snake is going to go bigger and bigger, fatter and fatter and stronger. Eventually it's going to strangulate you and kill you. That's what's going to happen if you keep on going with what the nafs says. And very, very clever, it will give ideas. Remember I said the biggest debater is what last week? Is your nafs and your desires. The biggest debater is your nafs. So here it'll keep on, actually now what happens if you keep on getting it until it kills you one day. The snake will bite and that's it. The bite of disobedience, once it comes, it could destroy you. So what should we do then? What should be the case is that understand is that, listen, we've tried many times, we've tried to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We try to make the nafs obey, but it doesn't. We try once and say, oh, this is too much for me. It doesn't listen to me. We try again, oh, it's too difficult. It's too hard. And the thing is that trying is what we're trying to say, is that trying and the effort that you hear us saying again and again, and this is a reminder to myself more than anything else really, is that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, that trying. That showing, that doing, that action speaks louder than words really. That show and try and make effort, that when the nafs will not want to do this, you do it. When there's no maza in there, for example, you go to work, our incentive of work is that, illa mashallah, maybe some of you love your job, but 9 out of 10 people who work and they don't really want to be there. What's the incentive? The wages, the money. That's it, we go there for the money, for the wages, because we know the wage is going to be the thing that pays the bills. That's some reason why we can cut our sleep, finish off, wake up 6 o'clock and do a 1 hour, 2 hour journey, and then on the way back, it's another 2 hour back. It doesn't matter. I know some brothers, they travel all the way by train from north to south even. They don't mind the 2 hour or 2.5 hours. They don't mind. Why? Because the wage is good. The incentive is good. So when the nafs has this incentive, this inclination, it tastes the incentive, It finds it easier. Are you all understanding? It finds it easier. And here the Mashayikh says that initially, beginning, but when you started work, you would have found it difficult maybe. Getting used to the system, the waking up really early, maybe 4 o'clock you have to wake up, 5 o'clock you have to wake up. The breaking the sleep pattern is difficult. It's initially difficult. But once you see the paycheck at the end of the month, then you feel a bit satisfied, yes, and then it makes it easier. Because you tasted the paycheck, you've tasted the wages for 1 month, you find it easier. You tasted the position for a month, you find it easier. You tasted the fact that people are saying vava to you because of the job that you got, you find it easier. You tasted the fact that the family are not on your back, you find it easier. It's experience, it tasted something. And the Mashayikhs are saying, what they say is that you find it, you try to obey Allah and you find it difficult and it slackens. All you need to do is treat the nafs once initially at the beginning, i.e. force it to do something, make it to do something, and once it tastes Allah's grace and pleasure, once it tastes that grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will come willingly. You were forcing it, you're making it go there, forcing it, and it doesn't want to, it rebels. Do the zikr, no, it doesn't want to do this miracle, no. Take the sheet, no, it doesn't want to do it. Or go to here, go and do some dawah here. Open the door for here, do some work here. No, it doesn't want to do it. Just like you try to drag the nafs out to the bed at 4 o'clock in the morning is difficult, or 5 o'clock in the morning. Thinking about the fact it's going to be a 2-hour drive. Oh, no, or 2-hour journey. No, we can't do it. It's difficult. But you force it. You make it go. You making it, forcing, going that little bit extra difficult way. After that, when it tastes incentive, it finds it easier. Similarly, when the nafs finds and experiences that in taste of the mercy of Allah and the grace of Allah subhanahu Allah's presence, Allah's huduri, Allah's qurb, Allah's nearness, when it tastes that, you will not need to do anything. Then when I say you, the spirit, you won't need to exert much effort. The nafs will willingly do it. How have we come to that point? Are we still giving up? Is that we are, oh no, I've tried. 1 week I've tried, forget it. 2 weeks I've tried, forget it. Is this what you heard of Ghostwide and a Ghostbag, that after 2 weeks or 1 week they gave up? How many years have you heard they spent years in Mujahada? How many years? 27 years or so. Even though they were born wali, and they really need to do that, but we are in more need of doing tazkiyah than anything. But they showed us the path, they showed us that struggles, that if they had to go through those ways and those rasa of struggles and difficulties, of feeding themselves on cabbages, and we're not saying of garbage, of lettuce and cabbage which people used to throw out, they used to wash it and eat that just to survive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not asked us to do this. We're in comfort, we're in ease. Look at what the Sahaba went through. Look at what the Aimmas went through. Look at what this great Mashayikh, Sayyidina Abdul Jabbar rahmatullah, what they went through. You hear, these are ghosts of the time. The people, for 12 years they were in search. They were traveling from one place to another. They went all the way from Morocco to even to as close as in the Paso continent area. 12 years they're in search of a true guide. And we give up after a week, after a day, after a month. What did they do? They kept on going, they kept on doing. And they never gave up. And that is a sign, and that is a quality of a wayfarer, a spiritual wayfarer, is that they never give up. They never give in. They persevere. It might seem as the whole world is collapsed. For Sayyidina Abdul Jabbar rahmatullah, it could have been the case of after 12 years they said, I give up, it's finished, I'm never going to find, I'm never going to achieve. No, they didn't. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still found a way for them. Because if you give up, that is what shaitan wants. That is what the nafs wants. What are you going to do? We came here. We came on the path of purification for what? For rectification and to establish our link and connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet and the awliya and akhirah, and to attain our akhirah. We've been busy in the dunya, so therefore we're giving some remedies and treatments so that we can actually slowly try to actually busy ourselves for the akhirah as well as fulfilling the dunya. We were given maybe half an hour a task or an hour task in the 24 hours, additional time to actually do something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not a demanding full 12 hours or 20 hours or 8 hours or whatever, just maybe half an hour to an hour extra. If that half an hour, 1 hour, if we say and giving what the nafs wants, then ask yourself, this is what am I doing volitionally to remember Him, to be in obedience of Him. Now I'm saying for you, because we're all, everybody here works and businesses here, the brothers who are present and the sisters at home or brothers who are listening at home as well, is that ask yourself is that if you go to work and if you want to impress and if you want promotion, you've seen people what they do. They work extra hard, do extra hours, extra labor, go the extra mile, as they say, to try to impress the employers, to make sure that they see and they recognize and value this person's qualities, this person's the efforts that they're doing, so that maybe somehow they recognize he's a valuable asset to the company and that he's appreciated. And that appreciation is actually then exemplified and manifested through increasement of wage or position, isn't it? Now, again, just to understand, because we like to use business world and dunyavi worlds to actually understand. There's no similitude to Allah, but just to understand is that what extra effort is me and you doing so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees us and takes notice of us? What are we doing? What's so different between me and you and the normal Muslims who are there, who are praying? Other people are praying, we are praying. Other people are doing it, we're doing dhikr, maybe a little bit. There are people who do thousands of scars. There are other murideen that are doing thousands of durood sharif a day, not alone, not a week or once a day, thousands of muraqabahs, and hours and hours of muraqabah maybe, and hours of dhikr. And all we demanded, our mashayikh have demanded, is that it was half an hour to an hour maximum. To be what? To be unique in one sense. Unique in one sense that we start to slowly strip ourselves from this dunya and wear the garment of the akhirah. Strip ourselves slowly from the pleasures of the dunya and adorn ourselves to the pleasures of akhirah. Slowly. But we find that difficult as well. Very hard. So all they're saying is that until you experience, at the beginning, you just need to actually push that little bit extra mile until when the nafs experience the sweetness and experience the mazza and the lazza and the taste that you used to experience in disobedience, when that push comes and the nafs does it willingly, you'll see that taste, similar pleasure, shall turn into obedience. Whatever experiences you have, the experience of the mazza and the lazza that you used to get the nafs used to experience, it will experience in obedience. And it will want more. He alayhi rahmah once also said, Ibn Atullah Sakandar rahmullah, they wanted to say is that the similitude of faith, iman in the heart is like of a green tree. It's like a green tree. The faith of iman is like a green tree. When the acts of disobedience, ghuna, becomes too much for it to bear, this green tree, what's happening is that he's giving an example. When the acts of disobedience become too much for the tree to bear, it dries up and its support dissipates. So the tree dries up, whatever the trunk of the branches, they start to wane and they start to fall. The roots become weaker. That's what's happening. That's what's happening is that every time we're sinning, we're weakening our iman, we're weakening our faith, we're weakening our resolve. That is the effect. Whoever wants to fulfill his obligation, i.e. the fara'id, if you want to fulfill the fara'id, whoever wants to fulfill his fara'id, the obligations of the deen, then let him forsake the unlawful, the haram. Whatever is haram, stay away from it. That will make it easy for you to actually fulfill the fara'id. Whoever forsakes offensive actions, makruhat, whoever will actually abandon and actually forsakes makruhat, offensive actions, he will be assisted, he will be helped, she will be helped in performing good deeds. So first came the fara'id, get away from the haram, the fara'id will be easier. Get away from the makruh, dislike actions, offensive actions, and you'll be, instead of doing offensive actions, you'll be actually doing what? Good actions. It's not complicated, it's simple. This is what you're doing with the course of tazkiyah. What are you doing? Stop from doing evil actions of the tongue, evil actions of the eyes. If you're not doing evil actions of the tongue and evil actions of the eyes, the ears, the hands, the feet, the pride, what will you be doing? Only good, really. That's what you're going to be doing. Because it's not a cross, that is it. If you're not actually putting a cross, and that means you're doing good. And you're going to increase yourself in that. It's not rocket science. Take out decking the evil and decorating with the good. Basically, you're taking the evil out. If you abandon the evil, only good will stay, inshallah. Good will remain. Good will be easier for you to do. And that is what the course is doing. So here, the methodology has been actually been said is that get rid of the haram, the halal and the farad will be there. Get rid of the makruhat, actions, heinous actions, and then what will happen is that the good actions, good amal will be there. Whoever forsakes permissible mubah actions, permissible actions, he or she will be given generously beyond imagination and allow him or her to enter the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So mubah action is that there's no reward and there's no guna in there. But you refrain from that. You even abandon that and say, no, I won't do this either. I only want to do good acts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will then entertain him and bring him in his presence. Again, what I'm trying to say, you're forsaking something which you had and you're showing that I want you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to be closer to you. I want to be near to you. You're showing, just like the employee is showing and going the extra mile. And that is what we're saying in the spiritual wayfarer, is that we're trying to say that we want to be unique in one sense. Is that people are, in one way you could say that the course of tazkiyah, the spiritual path is this, is that we want to be unique, we want to befriend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we want to be His friend, we want Him to be our friend, we want to love Him, and we want to have that special link and relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not just a normal relationship, special relationship, special bondship. A special unique love between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, between me and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, between me and the awliya and salihin. I want that special relationship. It's different from others who have got a special relationship with the dunya. I cannot be the king of this dunya. I cannot be the Gates of this dunya, the Bill Gates and all these other people of the dunya. I cannot be this footballer, this great footballer, or this great prime minister, or these great orators, or these great mathematicians and scientists. I cannot be that. Some of us can, but not all of us. But I can have this wonderful and beautiful relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's no hindrance and limits for me for that. Dunya has limits. Dunya has put bounds and boundaries on. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are no boundaries. You can have Him. We can have. And that is what we're saying, is that yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I want to be and I want to embark on that unique relationship. I want to be unique inside of you. And then when Allah says, okay, you want to be unique? Give me half an hour. We find that difficult, Ya Rabbal Alameen. The general public are doing what for example, the fard, the fard, the 5 waqt namaz, people are doing. They're doing. So what's unique about you? What's unique about me and you? Find that and see that. And the really uniqueness is that the more you'll adopt the sunnah, the more you adopt the neck amals, the good deeds, is that is how the uniqueness will actually come and manifest into our life. So here again repeat is that the initial phase, the initial bit, the initial struggle means you have to overcome with the nafs, and then eventually it will itself go willingly towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the beginning it'll be a struggle, at the beginning it's difficult, at the beginning it's hard, but push and don't give up. Keep on pushing. A week is gone, a month is gone, a year is gone, don't give up, keep on going. You just don't know when that time will be when it says, yeah, I like this, and it flies. So inshallah we'll stop here and then we'll do the muraqab, essential muraqabah. Because I've been told that we should try and keep these sessions are really for practicing the muraqabah dua, muraqabah ascension, and so on and so on. So that is what our purpose here is for. It's not really for bayan. We're here to actually to do that and to help us, encourage us, and to enable us to carry on performing that. But unfortunately, what's happened is that we sometimes find laxity in that, and we become lazy in that. So that's what these sessions on Thursdays, additional bonus sessions, you could say, where one is encouraged to carry on with the procedure, so that we can actually feel encouraged and motivated to for another week to do it ourselves, individually, when we get to our houses and our homes. And also, if there's any issues that people are finding difficulties in certain aspects, then they may ask as well in the muraqabah. So without further ado, inshallah, if you've got no question, inshallah, we'll commence with the muraqabah. Take inshallah. So there's no need for me to actually go through. You already know that everybody here is well aware what to do. Make intention that we're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being the three keys in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hearing me, is watching me, he's seeing me. And then obviously you've done your hajat, so now you're going to do the amals of protection, one time Surah Fatiha, three times, one times Al Kursi, three times Qul Hulla, Qul Falaq, Qul Binas, and then we're going to blow ourselves. After that you will be in the three mindset of heart and mind, and of thankfulness, of humbleness, and of reliance, tawakkul upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then once that's settled, we'll start doing the beginning amals of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim once, Astaghfar 3 times, Durood Sharif 3 times, La Hawla wa la Quwwata 3 times. And then you'll start with the beginning, the preparation amals of the Lataif, and go to different colors. After that, then what we'll do, because really is that there are many places in the Muraqabah Ascension you can go to. After when you transfer a meeting, Shaykh Ahmad Al-Bagh, our master, then we go to Fez, Morocco, and then after that, wherever the Mashayikh like to take you, you can go there. If it's any companions, Hazrat Ali Hazrat Sayyidina Bilal, or whoever you get to meet, whoever you get to actually get some nasir from. Here, I think one of the personalities was in the Jamadul Ula, is that Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid a few days ago was his day of passing. Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid who is a son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a great companion, a great sahabi, who had helped to give strength and spread of Islam through his sword and through his endeavors. But one incident that you can maybe go is he always wanted to die as a shaheed. He always wanted to actually put himself forward and wanted to die as a martyr. But what happened, unfortunately, Allah subhanahu is will, because he's the sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not befitting that the sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gets struck. So he died in his own, like a normal death in his deathbed. Maybe if you go to that time when he was at deathbed, nearing his time, maybe if you are able to get there, if you're able to meet, ask some nasir as to how he was like, what can we learn, and what nasir he can give at that time. And that's one of the most brief nasir. If you're able to do that, then you can maybe meet as Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid and in nasir that we can actually benefit from, or you can all benefit from. So if you actually then just turn the lights off, and then hopefully then start with the intention, and then do your amals of protection, and then inshallah this is everything else. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا ما شاء ولا يؤوده حفظهما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد. قل هو الله أحد الله من شر ما خلق قل أعوذ برب من شر ما خلق وشر غاسق إذا وقب. قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس من شر الوسواس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل من شر ما خلق وشر غاسق. قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس من شر الوسواس. So after you recited the Amal protection, get into 3 mindset of heart and mind, of gratitude, of humbleness, of tawakkul, and then start the beginning Amals. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. So after that, then whenever you're ready, then you may start with the preparation and all, and then go to the different latifas, the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, light blue, dark blue, and the white, and then get you ready to transfer, and then go to the Muraqabah ascension, Miraj. Now, if you can slowly bring yourself back from wherever you are, whatever presence or whatever thing you think, slowly, whatever guidance you're receiving, if you can slowly bring yourself back to your body, then you may slowly start opening your eyes. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. If there's anybody who'd like to relate anything, any difficulties, any issues that you suffered or you found difficulty in, or anything that you'd like to relate, then by all means you can do. Otherwise, inshallah, we'll call it today. So you all, mashallah, traveled perfectly fine. You were able to go through an experience. You're all experienced people here now, so you should all be able to transfer. Yes, everybody transferred. Mashallah. Some people might transfer to the world of sleep, but that's a different matter. There are different worlds out there. Obviously, with the number of snows that we have, mashallah, is very good. So we have the alam and Nom as well, which is very good. But alhamdulillah, that's also a blessing if a person finds bliss and tranquilities. Even this, I will say that people who they say that every time I close my eyes, fall asleep. Alhamdulillah, it's better to sleep in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thinking of Him. That's the beauty is that, let's say for example, if you fall asleep, you're doing the dhikr and you fall asleep, until the moment you awake, the angel is writing as if you're doing dhikr. So don't worry about it. In terms of reward, we're not doing it for reward. In terms of reward, alhamdulillah, you've been rewarded. That's a worshipful sleep, as they say. It's a blissful sleep. So, and also a good sleep as well. But if you all manage to transfer, is there anybody like to relate any message, any nasiha that anyone like to anybody seen or got or received, or anything that you find difficulty in? So. ठीक है इंशाल्लाह सुब्हानक अल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिक अशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता अस्तगफिरुका व अतूबु इलैक जज़ाकुमुल्लाहु खैरन जज़ा. May Allah send and reward you for your participation in coming. Yes.